What if we lose the moon? Have you ever seen Despicable Me, the film in which a supervillain named Gru pursues his quest to steal the moon? Quite a good one, huh? But have you ever wondered about what would happen if someone pulled off the feat in real life? If you have, don't go anywhere, because I'm going to transport you to a world of no lunar light. Earth would lose its protector. Well, have you ever seen a picture of the backside of the moon? If you haven't, here's one for you. See all the craters there? Well, each of those ugly holes appeared after an asteroid crashed into the surface of the moon. But they shouldn't have landed there. All those asteroids were heading in the direction of the Earth, and it was the gravity of the moon that prevented them from arriving at the right destination. So if the moon suddenly disappeared, we'd have to welcome visitors from space that aren't so nice. While most of the craters aren't very large, the South Pole Atkinson Basin, with its diameter of roughly 2,500 kilometers, is truly a giant. The asteroid that left such a mark on the face of our lunar companion is estimated to have been at least 170 kilometers wide. For your information, the Chicxulub impactor that put an end to the existence of the terrifying dinosaurs was just about 10 kilometers in diameter. So if the moon wasn't there having our back, we would probably disappear too. The night sky would be way darker. Well, if we're fortunate enough not to have a life-exterminating visitor from space or to find a way to survive, the absence of the moon would give us a way darker night sky. The moon is the second brightest object from Earth's sky, 14,000 times brighter than the next one in the list, Venus. So, without our lunar friend, it would be impossible for us to even see our hands right in front of our faces. Artificial lighting would have to be everywhere. A darker night sky could cause a lot of confusion in the animal kingdom as well. Predators rely on both the darkness of the night and a small amount of moonlight to effectively hunt. Without lunar light, prey would likely thrive because predators would find it impossible, or at least way harder to spot them. For example, keeping a cat around the house wouldn't be the best way to get rid of rats anymore. Lucky for those cats, they would still be fed, because they're humans' furry little friends. But a tragic fate would await predators that only live in nature, such as owls and bats. Those who rely only on hunting as the sole food source would have to evolve rapidly, or else they'd go extinct. There'd just be tiny tides. Right now, both the golden and silver plates are creating tides, but the latter is the major driving force. If our satellite exploded or were torn apart, the only factor that causes tides would be the sun. Since it is 400 times further away from the moon than us, it would need to be 64 million times the size of the moon to cause tides at a similar level. As it is only 27 million times as big as the moon, the tides would be much smaller, only around 40% of what they are now. Weaker tides would radically change life. Currently, tides are what churn up material in the oceans, allowing coastal ecosystems to thrive. Crabs, mussels, starfish, snails, every creature in these environments rely on the tides for survival. The disappearance of these species could kick off a knock-on effect, disrupting other land and sea animals and causing mass extinctions eventually. And that's not all. The flow of the tides carries heat from the Earth's equator to the poles. Temperatures could potentially be more extreme without the moon. This would have likely limited the movement of species around the world. Some plants and animals alive today might not even exist anymore. Days wouldn't be 24 hours long anymore. Do you know how many hours there are in a day? That's an easy question, right? Of course, there are 24. Even a kid knows so. But without the moon, days on the Earth would be much shorter. The pull of the moon slowed the Earth's rotation. Billions of years ago, when there was no moon, an Earth day was just about 12 hours long. So if it suddenly disappears, 24 hours would no longer be the correct answer. Each day would be just 6 to 8 hours long, and so there would be 1,000 to 1,400 days in a year. That's pretty much work for the calendar designers, isn't it? Our axis tilt would change drastically. Earth spins on its axis, tilted at 23.4 degrees with respect to our orbital plane around the Sun. But that tilt doesn't always stay the same. Over tens of thousands of years, it changes from as little as 22.1 to as much as 24.5 degrees. It is the pull of the moon's gravity on the Earth that holds our planet in place. Scientists have estimated that, without the moon, that tilt could even exceed 45 degrees, making the Earth spin on its sides just like Uranus. It may not always be cold at the poles, and it may not always be warm at the equator. The cycle of 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, and winter, would be broken, wreaking havoc on agriculture. We might go back to the ancient era when having enough food was an unrealistic dream. Now that that's all been said and considered, I think it's easy to realize how lucky we are that we have the moon as a companion and do not revolve around the sun alone. Our satellite is one of the reasons why Earth was able to be the home of life forms. But what if it disappeared? Would you prefer a darker night sky, shorter days, and smaller tides? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to support our team, and make sure you'll never miss an intriguing video. Until next time, guys.